Hey folks, so it's a cold, rainy kind of day today, and I figured I would do some baking and some cooking today, and I'd show you some of my recipes. So let's get started. So first off, for breakfast today, I'm gonna make Jason a Dutch baby. In the mixture, which I already put together, is 3 eggs, a half cup milk, half cup flour, pinch of salt, a tablespoon of sugar, and a tablespoon of vanilla. Now I'm going to put this in the fridge because he's not going to be home for a little bit. But when I know he's coming, then we're going to heat everything up and show you what the next steps are. In the meantime, I am going to make some bread. This is the recipe for the sandwich bread, which is a little more denser than my fluffy bread that I had already posted a few videos back. So this one makes 2 loaves of bread, or you can use it for rolls. I'm making this one so that way we have one for ourselves, and I'm going to take one down to one of our neighbors. So in my bowl, I'm going to put 1 tablespoon of yeast, 1/4 cup of honey, and 2 teaspoons of salt. And now I'm going to add 2 cups of warm water. I'm going to mix this up, and I'm going to let it set for about 10 minutes. So it's been about 10 minutes, and this is what my yeasty mixture looks like. Right now I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of melted butter, and I'm going to add 5 cups of flour. Now I'm going to use my KitchenAid stand mixer, so I'm going to put it all in together. If you are hand kneading this, I would put about 4.5 cups of flour in and reserve 1/2 cup for the kneading process. So I'm going to mix it, and then once it's all together, I'm going to knead it or keep letting it mix in the bowl for 10 to 15 minutes until the dough is smooth and not sticky. Okay, so my bread is all mixed up. The dough has been kneaded. Now I'm going to cover it and let it rise for about 1 hour. So Jason is on his way home. So I'm getting the stove warmed up to finish up the Dutch baby. So I've pulled my mix out of the refrigerator. As you can see, it's a very runny mix. I am going to let the oven heat up to 425. When it gets a little closer, I'm going to put my cast iron in there. Let it get heated up. And just before I'm ready to put the mixture in, I'm going to throw a couple of tablespoons of butter in the pan and let it get melted. I'll then pull the pan out, put my mix in there, pop it back in the oven for about 15-20 minutes, and I will show you what it looks like. So I've heated up my pan, melted my butter. Now I'm going to pour this into my pan and throw it in the oven for about 15-20 minutes. She's ready to go in. So this is the Dutch baby right out of the oven. It's going to deflate a little bit. I'm going to put some powdered sugar on it. It's time to eat. So my bread rose for an hour. After the hour, I cut the dough in half after I took it out of the bowl, separated it out into the 2 loaves, and now they're going to sit and rise for about another 30 minutes. So how's it look?
It looks good. It looks good. It looks like a Dutch baby. I'm ready to eat it though. Yep.
So I've baked the bread for about 25 minutes so far. at 350 degrees. I'm going to take a little bit of butter, put it on the top, and put it back in for another 5 to 10 minutes till it's golden brown. All buttered up, back into the oven they go. And the final product, 2 loaves of bread. Now I have to get them out of the pans, let them cool on the rack. I really hope you've enjoyed my recipes.
Well, folks, it is the next day, and it is kind of a gloomy day today, but that doesn't mean that the work stops. This is the gravel pad that the garage is going to get built on, and honestly, it looks amazing right now. I'm really happy with the way it came out, but right now we're waiting on lumber. So this will be the last project that we build this summer. We've got a few other things we're going to be doing, but the pad is here, and I cannot wait to get started on that project. Now, in the meantime, we also got our loam. So what we're going to be doing this morning on this gloomy, wet, rainy day, we're going to be filling up our raised beds with our loam. Well, we got the tractor fired up and warming up over there, so let's get started. All right, so we got our first bed done. We've got our second bed done. We've got our third bed sort of done. Now we're working on our fourth bed. Now the first 3 beds weren't so bad. I could pull the tractor up and pretty much dump the loam into each of the beds. Unfortunately, this fourth bed, it's a little bit too far. I can't get the tractor over here. So I'm back to shoveling dirt. 1 scoop at a time. Okay, for the most part, that takes care of this bed here. Now, we are going to be adding a layer of garden soil when we actually go to plant, so it will lift it up a little bit more. We will have to add quite a bit of loam next year because half of these beds are actually filled with a mulching hay. And over the course of this summer and through next winter, these beds are going to settle down, and when that happens, we'll just put fresh loam on it. But for this year, I think this level with the additional layer of garden soil is going to be perfect. All right, let's go get some more loam because we've got some more beds to fill in. Okay, so we've got our third row ready to go. The first 2 already have onions in them. Now we get to build the fourth row right here from scratch. It has been a long day today, but we've got our fourth row. Yes, this row last year was used as the Ruth Stout method of gardening, and it failed for us miserably. Not because the Ruth Stout method doesn't work, but because number 1, we used hay. Number 2, we didn't we didn't do it right. We just didn't do it right. So we turned this into a row, and it looks beautiful. We're very happy with it. I think in talking to Jen, we're going to be putting carrots and maybe beets in this row, or maybe we're putting beets in this row. I'm not quite sure, but I do know for sure we're putting carrots in here. So it's going to be awesome. All right, so now that this is done, I've got to switch gears here. I've got to get another load of loam, and I'm going to top off all of these little bins here, and I need to get some into this raised bed, and then I think as far as the raised beds are concerned, we will be done, at least for now, until I decide to make some more or until Jen wants more. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get that other load, and we'll get these things here filled because I still have one more chore to do today, and that is to clean up our Three Sisters garden bed here. Now, if you're not familiar with the Three Sisters, stay tuned because we'll be walking through that and we'll be hosting a video on that. The whole process of what we're doing and how we're going to do it. So, but I've got to get more loam into here. I got to get some of that grass pulled and cut down. So, all right, got to keep going. So these beds are going to settle after this year. So we are going to have to fill these up one more time with dirt. Hopefully after next season, we should be able to manage this from our compost pile here on the homestead, as opposed to reintroducing more dirt, at least at the volume that we're having to do this year. I am really hoping that we're able to have enough compost through the year that come the next growing season that we've got enough of it. So this whole journey that Jen and I are on, it started 12 years ago, 13 years ago now. We've been here in Maine going on our second year. And we knew that the first 3 or 4 years were going to be all about building infrastructure, getting all of the systems in place that we wanted. And then from that point on, it would really be just managing those systems, making changes as they came up. But at least the foundation of those systems would be in place. And that's what we're still working on today. The expectation of this garden is to provide the majority of our food. It's going to take time to get it to a level where we're comfortable with and that it's producing regularly at the volume that we need it to. So it turns out I'm a lot more tired than I thought. So today we did get these guys filled, and we got all of the raised beds filled and topped off. So as far as all of the existing raised bed and the new rows, we're good to go. We can start gardening, and that is huge. So like I said just a few minutes ago, the next step for the garden is to work on the Three Sisters bed here. This is where we had our corn, and we also had a squash hay bale bed in the back here that we've since gotten rid of. We're just turning this whole bed into a Three Sisters bed. So tomorrow I'm going to get in here, get this thing de-weeded, throw some more loam on, and then we're going to get it tilled and ready to go. So, but for now, I'm going inside. I know Jen made some bread today and some no-bake cookies, so we're going to go enjoy some of those.